Meeting of the State Allocation Board to order. If you could call the roll.
Senator Hancock, Senator Liu, Senator Fuller, Assemblymember Buchanan, here. Assemblymember Hagman, here. Assemblymember Nazarian, Esteban Almanza, here. Kathleen Moore, here. Cesar Diaz, here. Irena Ortega.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The first item of business is the minutes from the June 25th meeting.
Move approval.
Is there any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Seeing none. Item 3 is the executive officer statement.
Yeah, we have a few items to share with you tonight. We'll keep it short. In your consent agenda, we have tucked away emergency repair program approvals. That's 489 applications for $93.4 million. And although the Budget Act did approve for $188.5 million, this is what we currently have, although we've been working very closely with Department of Education, and we've got some assurances that some of the program money, the remaining program money, will be coming relatively soon. So we anticipate October. And then the next item we wanted to share is a priority funding apportionments. Also in your agenda is, in the action item, is 34 projects will be presented for $100.5 million. And again, those authorizations will have until November 18th to activate the cash. So again, it's very important for those projects that do receive the award to pay closely associate the timelines associated with the project. So, and we'll be continuously working with districts to remind them of the timelines associated with them. We also wanted to share an update. The April 7th apportionments, there was over $372 million that did go out for projects. 105 projects were apportioned, and only 2 projects failed to meet the 2-strike timeline. So it was related to a new construction and modernization program projects, and there were small increments in those projects. The bond authority did revert back to the program. The regulation update, the board took action in March to also include additional programs as part of the priority funding 90-day timeline. So Career Tech, Charter Schools, and Overcrowded Relief Grant will have also the requirement to participate, and we anticipate the regulations to be effective October 1st. And very critical, the timelines associated with the next certification round is in November. So we'll be sending out reminders and email blasts as the regulations become effective, also notifying those folks that the new requirements will also apply to them if they're on an unfunded list. And lastly, we wanted to share that there is a high probability we won't have a September meeting, so just wanted to highlight that.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4, which is the consent agenda. In addition to the items that Ms. Silverman mentioned, I'd like to suggest that we include items 8, 9, and 10, accepting all the staff recommendations as part of the consent agenda. This would be the regulatory amendments for the additional grant for general site development, the priority funding, school construction apportionments, and the 12th funding cycle, keeping that open for the ORG program applications.
And I also would like to recommend that we move item 7, the Danuba appeal, to the consent agenda. I'd like to recommend that we approve the district's appeal and also direct staff to conduct an analysis of the regulations addressing the use and application of all the developer fees to ensure that the regulations reflect the statutory requirements, and that we have staff report back to the board its findings with any proposed amendments to the regulations to ensure compliance.
Okay, is there any objection? Okay.
No, but I would just split that up, put the appeal on the consent, and then have the second one be part of the staff recommendations. Then would probably want to be a motion. This would be direction, right?
Okay. Okay, so there's a motion to that effect. That would approve items 7 through 10. Motion as second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any objections or abstentions? Seeing none. The next item will be the status of fund releases.
Yeah, on page 107, wanted just to highlight that $210 million did go out as a result of the 90-day apportionments, and we did share back in June that there was a slow run at the cash, but obviously there was a big run at the end, so we were happy to report out that nearly all the funds have been allocated. So and that's the highlight on page 107. And as we move forward to the status of fund releases, we did process, as part of the consent agenda, 3 seismic projects, also a high-performance incentive grant project associated with the seismic program approval, and we had 3 conversions in the charter area. So with that additional $20.2 million in unfunded approvals added to the list. And we also have additional closeout adjustments reflected on your left side, and that relates to at least almost $100,000. And that's on page 111. And also highlight on page 112 is, again, the activation of the Emergency Repair Program unfunded approvals. With the cash being provided, again, it will definitely reduce the amount of accumulated unfunded approvals, and again, that's reflected in the lower chart.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Any public comment on items 5 or 6, the status of funds and the fund releases? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 11, the quarterly school facility joint use program.
Yeah, so we just wanted to highlight that we've been doing quarterly updates, and the board did take an action back in June 2012, was to provide some funds and cash associated with joint use. And at the time, the board took action on several projects, and we still have one outstanding, and we've been working with the district, and the timelines associated with that project, they have until December 19th to activate the cash, so we'll report back, and we're hoping that they can make the timeline.
And the workload?
And we have workload reports. So without a September meeting, that workload looks pretty flat. And then we have the October and December anticipated workload. Not sure if we have any questions.
Any questions, comments? No. I think that's it.
That's it.
Go ahead, Ms. Moore.
I have a final comment.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I'm going to not adjourn the meeting to hold the roll open for, to give a few more minutes for anybody who's going to come late, and then, but the rest of you are free to go. Ms. Moore.
I just wanted to say on behalf of the school community, thank you to Assemblymember Buchanan and Assemblymember Hagman for all your work on the bond measure. We were, as you noted yesterday, not successful, but I want you to know how much the school community really appreciates the work that both of you did on that measure.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you. Senator Liu, we have voted on our items, but the roll is open, so please let the record note that Senator has arrived. And we had one action item that was the consent, and then all of the other items were added to the consent, so items 7 through 10. So we just had one vote. So please call the absent member.
Senator Liu, how do you vote on the agenda? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, I don't think that happened. So where are you up to now?
Yes. Just a consent item?
And then we added basically all the other action items to the consent agenda, so everything is on a 6-0 or 7-0 right now, so.
I'll add it.
Okay, please.
Thank you.
Oh, that's fine. I think that's fine.
Assemblymember Nazarian votes aye on the agenda. Thank you.
No.
The State Allocation Board meeting is adjourned.